He's now like tourism board, attire, DJ, actor. You must have a wiki, man. Welcome to another episode of Revelry Podcast, and today with our special guest, DJ Mez. What's up, man? All the way from Sri Lanka, from Australia, from Singapore, from UAE, everywhere, worldwide, Mr. Worldwide here.
I would like to consider myself Mr. Island Boy.
Mr. Island, Mr. Island Boy. Yeah, so basically, let's just start from like the first time we met, which is like 8 years ago when we were doing some showcasing.
Yeah. That was 2015 when we had to introduce the
VGM S9 and
the
a couple of
PLX 1000
Turntable
DJ
as well.
turntable.
Yeah.
So Keegan got you, me, and a few others to do a demonstration. Yeah, and that was the first time we met. And yeah, man. I mean, I saw your mad skills, and I was blown away. I was like, okay, damn, I want to give up DJing after.
It was quite a funny situation where we are showcasing 2 equipments, but we have 3 DJs.
Correct.
So Mez is like showcasing 1, and then me and my friends, right, we are like, he's like, one of my friends like the left hand, I'm the right hand, and then we were just like, the video is on YouTube, so you all can check it out.
Yeah.
But at that point of time, right, how would you say, would you consider yourself to be in career-wise? Like, you are definitely not a new DJ back then. You have already been DJing for over 10, 15 years, right, at that point, right? No. So maybe you can tell us a little bit more about what happened before the Singapore leg of your journey.
Sure.
Yeah.
I would like to take my career into 3 parts. The pre-Dubai, the post-Dubai, and then the Dubai. So pre-Dubai, when I was in Sri Lanka, I used to travel often to Singapore, Malaysia, Maldives. I used to do a couple of gigs in my teens. Then I moved to Dubai, and I think that's when I kind of like had my big break, because I did compete at a couple of DJ competitions and played at some established clubs in Dubai. And from Dubai, I got exposed to, like, you know, the European market, the Middle East scene and stuff like that. But what I really saw in Dubai was more sort of like an internship.
Okay.
I had to learn a lot because it was such a cosmopolitan city. Because I went there with the mindset of like, man, I'm going to keep it real. But then you have to really break it down into the cost factor, because rent is so high and people have to pay the rent in order to maintain nightclubs.
Comparison to Singapore, the rent in Singapore versus...
Let me get there.
Yeah.
So that's when I became like a commercial DJ in Dubai.
Okay.
Then when I moved to Singapore and I saw the rent is like 6 times higher than Dubai.
Why though? I thought Dubai is like, should be higher, right?
Singapore
higher.
real estate is higher, way more higher than Dubai. Dubai is actually cheap compared to Singapore.
For housing only, but...
And cars, you could buy a Ferrari for the price you buy a BMW here.
Oh,
I'm not even kidding you, legit, just check online.
yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Do they have to pay COE though? There's no COE.
No, there's no
anything, right?
tax there.
Oh, no wonder.
I mean, big country, you have to drive, but it's a necessity. Not like Singapore, they're trying to discourage you from driving. Yeah.
So they've got land.
Yeah, the thing is, if I go Dubai, right, I don't drive, so maybe I can rent a camel or something. For like,
Rent a camel.
That's more expensive than a car.
seriously?
Yeah, camels are expensive.
Then you must keep the fuel, which is the food. where you keep the fuel. Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's pretty much where I see myself. When I came to Singapore, I had to start all over again from the beginning, because you might be established DJ in a different land, but when you come to a new place, you gotta, earn your way up.
So true. It is so
Because
true. Yeah.
the people have to accept you.
Yeah.
The people in the industry, the community have to accept you as a part of theirs so that you can grow with them. Because if you try to do it on your own, you're never going to make it. Because first of all, you're a foreigner, you're all alone, and you need the community to back you up to get up there. And it happens the same thing when COVID hit. I went back to Sri Lanka to, hit the Sri Lankan market. And I had to build a community first in order to get myself to where I am. Even though I have been there, done that in Sri Lanka, I can't just walk into Sri Lanka and say, hey, yo, man, I'm the man. It ain't going to work.
Yeah, because you're not the local guy anymore. You're the international act already. You're
Correct.
considered, right?
Yeah. So it's always, I think it boils down to, how humble you can, you know, keep
Yeah, it's an
yourself
up and down
grounded.
game,
Ups
you
and
know.
down,
Yeah, it's ups and downs, so, which is like very similar to David Guetta, you know. You know, he's really at the top of the world, right? And then what's next? He's just helping people randomly, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then that's how he revived his brand, because he also like kind of dead for a while. Then he did the Jack Black thing, and he went underground, and then now he's like number 4 in the world, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
agreed.
So it's really up and down. And then I remember this very funny incident. You were like telling me like, hey, do you know that I remind you of DJ KRAVE? And then you had a photo with him, right? And then he's like, so, you know, and that was back in the UAE days, right?
Yeah, that was in the UAE days. I used to do some warm-up gigs for him and stuff like that.
Yeah.
One so funny story happened. I can't tell you guys online, but someone mistook me for Craze, and let's just leave it there. Well, I just want to say I got very lucky.
All the VIP treatment. Okay.
So I'm like,
Wow.
Because there was gig, Craze was supposed to come, but Craze didn't make it. And I was there, and after my set, everyone's like, bro, you did amazing. I was like, why are they treating me so good?
Yeah. My God.
that's
The
how it is.
realities of life. My God.
Yeah, you know, when people are drunk, they see you similar. If you have similar features, yeah, okay, right.
So the what's up, bro?
Doppelganger right there.
Everybody thinks that I'm co-flow is me, and then we are like mixed up also. Yeah.
True.
Yeah, and then post Dubai, then going to Singapore. Yeah, so of course difficulty in finding a place. But why did you decide to make that move? Isn't it like quite scary to like step out of your own home country or something?
Yeah, I think I'm very used to starting from scratch, building everything ground up. I like to have an organic growth instead of a fake it till you make it kind of approach.
Correct.
And the biggest lessons that I've learned in these cities such as Dubai and Singapore is that no matter how big you get today, you know, you could be number 1 tomorrow, you're number none.
Yeah, yes.
And you got to have that foundation so strong so that you could build your empire on it. And today my empire consists of about 200 people around the world who have become a part of my community. You see, it's not about the gigs that you played or, you know, how much you've traveled or how much you've earned. It's about the people that you earn along the way, because who else better to share it than your community, your friends, you know?
So 1,000 true fans, you know. Yeah, all you need is 1,000 true fans, then you can like monetize for life. Yeah, that's the book, you know. Yeah.
And I think this is what I learned from Dubai and Singapore, and moving out of Sri Lanka. Going back to Sri Lanka, I see there's a lot of changes. We need to fix a country like Sri Lanka because it's literally broken. I'm telling you, really. I mean,
In what sense? Is it like
it's a failed state. The government has messed up a lot of things. I'm not getting into politics, but
Yep.
there's no like here. You see, for example, I'll just give you one example. Jasmine Soko or Young Raja, these kind of artists, you know, they can apply for a grant when they show their numbers. I mean, as a Sri Lankan, I've achieved so much of numbers with one hit song.
Yeah.
And yet the government's like, oh, yeah, that's great.
Is it maybe because the population is like so many, and then I don't know how close is Sri Lanka to the Bollywood culture. Is it?
Very similar, but Sri Lanka has its own identity.
Yep.
And I think the best way to explain it is like, let's say you got Malaysia and then you got Singapore. You see, Singapore is such a tiny country, but they still help the arts. They believe in the arts in this country.
Yeah.
India believes in their arts and Malaysia believes in their arts, but they have a big market.
Oh yes.
But Singapore still supports the youth in somewhat way.
Yeah.
But in Sri Lanka, they're like, that comes later, forget it. You know, we don't want to talk about the arts for now. But then they got to start believing in it. They got to start funding youth movement, youth campaign. Places like Scape here has been there for the past 20 years, 20 or something.
Yeah.
It's a place where everyone goes, gathers. You know, you can do your things, community building. They have no such place in Sri Lanka.
I like the way how you describe Singapore, right? It's because it feels like you are like a citizen here, you know. It feels so organic. The way you talk about Scape and then the grants, right? It's like you've been here forever. And people that have been here forever, they don't even know stuff like that, you know.
They should grant you citizenship, bro.
Yeah, dude, they should grant you citizenship, man, I swear.
That would be the day I can die in peace.
No, like just a new beginning, man. Don't die so fast. Waste money, yeah.
I know. But I love Singapore. I've always looked up to Singapore as a nation that has made it on its own. I love the people of Singapore. I feel very much Singaporean because I've lived here for 7 years. But I also think my roots, because I'm ethnically Malay, National wise, I'm born in Sri Lanka. So I really feel like there's no place that makes me belong, but at the same time, all these places makes me
No boundaries
No
between
boundaries,
the
yeah.
countries and the cultures. Or
So UAE, Singapore, Malaysia, Sri Lanka, they're all like home. Every time coming here, I was like, wow, feel such a relief. Like it's like I'm finally home, you know? Yeah, Singapore is like that to me. So I've always felt something very special to Singapore. Yeah.
And then speaking of your music, because there's no boundaries, right? I realized that your music is really like what you say, island boy,
Yeah.
island sound, you know. Yeah.
And the reason to that is because we are island people and we have a knack for reggae dance for 100 BPM.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter whatever. Tropical sound works because this is what it is. You know, we are coming from tropical countries. The weather, the temperature, the BPM, it all sets in very well. There's a niche for dance, like let's say 130 BPM or something like that, and then 150 BPM. But the majority of it, you know, you got to think about a song that your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your niece, your nephew, your cat and dog will listen to. And that's something like Rema, Calm Down, or Lean On, Major Lazer, DJ Snake.
Yeah.
You get it?
Correct.
But if you show them something like Skrillex or Origami, they're like, you know, please.
They don't know how to react yet.
Yeah,
right?
and I guess if you wanna like play in a club, right, there will be somebody, right, if your track is good enough, they will come and remix your song to make it club friendly. Yeah, so you don't even need to do it yourself, you know. You just do what people like to listen, and then it will take care of its own.
Here's the advice Skrillex gave me because I met him a few times and I was working with him, and once I showed him my stuff and I was like so much. You remember I was into trap and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I showed him a couple of my tracks. He's like, bro, this is good, but there's a million people doing the same thing. He's like, reach out to your tribe. He's like, reach out to your tribe. Go get your people to follow you. If you can make 20 of your closest family and friends happy with a song, then you made it, man. So I really thought about it a lot. I really thought about it a lot, man.
Well, this is very unconventional advice coming from Skrillex, and it's very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think he also understands as Asians, we are swimming upstream. You see, we're not from the States, we're not from Europe.
Yeah.
We are in the English music industry.
Correct, but we're not in the English market.
Correct. You see, because if you're Chinese, if you're Filipino, if you're Sri Lankan, if you're Malay, you got Malaysia, you got China, you got Taiwan, you got Philippines. You know, you got your own markets.
Yes, correct.
So he's right in that sense. You see, the DJs who's made it to the West have always tapped into their markets. And
It's like the Kashmir. Yeah, this is a prime example, right? In Jai Wolf.
Yeah. Even I remember Kerala.
Kerala is Albanian. Pakistani.
Yeah, so they reached out to their roots before they became hit. And there's a few artists like that. I think also Troy Boy, if I'm not mistaken. He has some Arabic roots. So you see the Troy Boy sound?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
And even DJ Snake, man. He's Algerian French.
Yeah.
So you see where the Arabic sound comes, like get low, turn down for what? Those are Arabic scales.
And that's why he's always doing his shows predominantly in those countries as well.
You're right. Yeah.
People feel more in touch.
Yeah. And when he goes to the Middle East, people think that he's Arab. They accept him as Arab.
Yeah.
It's like a pride of their like their culture as well.
True. It is tribalism, right? Music in the end.
I mean, at the end of the day, like the Straits Times also try to claim credit that hey, Kaigo is Singaporean. What the hell? like born in Singapore. But how did Singapore help in his career? Nothing, So the media is just trying to claim credit whenever there is, just to create a headline.
That was who was the swimmer?
Shit, yes, I know what you're talking about.
Schooling.
Yeah, schooling, yeah. Yeah, when he's down, everybody bash him. When he's up, oh my god, he's Singaporean. Yeah.
And also, I'm sorry guys, nothing against Singapore. I love Singapore, this is where my heart is. But the latest thing that I see everywhere is the CEO for TikTok. Oh, he's suddenly Singaporean.
Yeah. And the US people thought like he's like one of the people from China or something.
Yeah. But it's good. But before, my point is like before he really became viral, no one in Singapore spoke about him.
Yeah.
No one even knew he was actually the main man behind thing. But yeah, that's how media waits till you get onto the top and latch onto it.
Yeah, which is why you cannot really like based on the comments or whatever let it affect your. But sometimes it's very difficult. As a musician, you produce your own content and then it's very personal to you,
Yeah.
So like when you put out a piece of work, right, and then people say, hey, this is like shit, and then you're like, oh my god, you're like insulting me. You feel very.
Yes.
So even when like people say that you are good, right, you shouldn't really actually believe 100%.
Yeah.
So that when it's down, you also won't be affected too badly, I guess.
Yeah. Well, when it comes to comments, what I've realized is over the years is not to pay attention to those. Engagement is good. If someone says amazing, thank you, bro, that's a good comment. If someone says you suck, reply, I'll try to do better. You know, that keeps you neutral, and at the same time, you're not like creating beef or animosity, and you're not giving them too much of attention that they require, because some of the people just crave attention, and you know, they're hiding behind their fake profiles, posting all these negative comments. They're not real, you know. That's not the real person. So you have to understand where that person's coming from, that person's mentality. That should definitely be an artist who's trying to make it, but who sees our success and then even a little bit of success and who's just hating on it. But he's not an artist who actually made it. Because if you really made it, you don't have time to be posting on other people.
That is correct. I was literally telling him, yo, we don't even have time to sleep, man.
Yeah, we don't even have time to sleep, man.
Yeah.
No, actually, yeah, it's managing expectations basically.
Yeah,
So,
correct.
these are the guys I think also that, you know, like when you're doing a live set, and those are the guys that's like standing at the corner. They're like, oh, he made a bad transition there. Like, those kind of guys that's like in the corner just talking about you and all this stuff, all your negative stuff, not actually the positive stuff.
I mean, like, if you see the real industry people, right, they wouldn't even be like caring about the transitions or whatever. Like, I remember there's a time when Calvin Harris was playing at Access Vegas, and then his audience, right, is like DJ Khaled, P Diddy, the most unexpected people at the Calvin Harris gig. Everybody's just drinking, minding their own business. You know, nobody's like, hey, Calvin Harris, your BPM like a bit wrong. Nobody says that. You know. Yeah. And when it's time to work, then it's time to work, you know. I guess it's different.
I live by this mantra where we don't talk shit about DJs. And it's something that I've learned because when I travel, like say Paris, Australia, Sri Lanka, Singapore, what I've noticed is like groups of DJs get together and they bitch about the rest of the DJs. They're like, oh, this guy can't scratch. Or you see how bad he is with his effects. Oh, he doesn't even MC. It just goes on and on. I'm like, they literally light up fires, not literally, I mean, but then, you know, it's like a bonfire meeting where you gather around and then you go gachaka against every DJ in the world. But then what's so funny is that it doesn't happen in a specific country or nation. It happens between every country, everywhere you go. So I learned never to talk shit about DJs because you never know their story. You don't know where they've been, what they've had to go through to be up there. Every DJ has his day. His girlfriend might have dumped him. His mom might be in his hospital, but he's got to come and perform. It's his job, you know? So
very
every
true.
DJ has his day.
Yeah.
So you can't be quick to judge. You can't just say, oh, this guy sucks because he just had one bad night, you know? I mean, also think about this. If you're a DJ who's playing like 100 gigs a year, you're bound to fail at least 10 times, 10% of the time, you know? So that's 10 gigs. Because you can't have 100% strike rate, like technically and everything wise, you know, like mic control. There's always going to have ups and downs, you know. So
Factors you can control.
Yeah, factors you can control. So you can't be quick to judge. And this is why I never judge a DJ when it comes to skill or performance or anything, because every DJ has his day.
Yeah, that's true. Like even like when Diplo came to Singapore and Richie Hawtin came to Singapore, also very surprising turnout. You know, Richie Hawtin super underground, but it's packed. Then Diplo is like people are confused about his sound, and maybe ticket prices are too high. You know, so people cannot afford. So there's so many factors that's not within your control. And of course, not saying Diplo is not a good DJ. In fact, he's one of the best DJs in the world. Like a DJ, not even talking about producer. You know. Yeah.
Well, sometimes it's really out of your control. Like literally, like the management is the one that's asking you to play this song, or or you cannot play this song, or you know, like all this stuff. You know,
yeah, that's true.
There's a lot of factors in the club itself, not only technically or whatever. It's also you're always the DJ is always in between the management and the crowd.
You're like the revenue management, you know.
Yeah, it's always in the middle. Yeah.
Then maybe you can tell us a little bit about your stint in Marquee, you know. So if we're talking about like revenue management, of course, Marquee, there's a standard that you have to uphold where you have to, first things first, keep the crowd.
Yeah.
Then we talk about skills, blah, 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 you know.
Yeah. Marquee was I've held a couple of big residencies around the world.
Yes.
Armani Privé in Dubai, so the Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world. Sanctuary at the Atlantis Hotel, massive club, huge clubs and some branded clubs. Done guest spots around the world as well. But Marquee, Singapore had to be the crown jewel.
Yeah, it really is the highlight.
It is. it is what it is. I mean, the place looks fabulous, sounds fantastic. The visuals, lighting, it all complements, and it's got a damn Ferris wheel in the club, man. You know, all around the world. But the toughest part was when I had to open up. The first night, I was the first DJ to like, I had to warm up for Tiesto. So for a month, yeah. So for a month, I had Tiesto's management, and we pretty much discussed what to play. And then I've made my playlist. I'm starting to play, and then one of the bosses comes and say, "Hey, yo, make the people dance." I play, and then Tiesto's manager comes back and tells me, "Dude, what are you doing, man? Don't make the people dance." And then I break down, and so I was like torn between two sides. But then that's where I had to step in, and I had to do my job. Where I had to speak to my manager and tell him, "Boss, let me do my job. I'm quite experienced."
Beyond, yeah.
Yeah, and
Because like there's a proper warm up and there's also a marketing warm up.
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we have to understand something that a lot of well, again, like you said, you know, managers are focused on the sale, floor managers, bar managers. But when it comes to the entertainment segment, if your entertainment manager is happy with what you're doing, because he's experienced, he knows what it is.
Yep.
So you just have to explain to your bar manager and the floor manager, dude, we've got this under control, because everyone's panicking. It's a big launch, and we ran out of champagne at MDX that day because no one expected that many champagne. Yeah, the whole hotel ran out of champagne.
Yeah, because other clubs run out of champagne, we can literally borrow from neighboring clubs. But Marquee got no neighboring clubs, so they need to maybe hit up a restaurant or something. Like, hey,
So the whole hotel,
Grab just grab
bro,
champagne.
how they make money like that? They need to buy at cost, right? How to make money, lose money. Yeah.
but at the end of the night, it was so good because we hit a record sale. That was the highest sale in a club in Singapore ever.
Of course, not even gonna doubt it. Yeah, one table is like so much, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was that was the beginning of Marquee. To me, it was so intense because every weekend it was like organizing a mini festival.
Yes, it is. The lineup, the bookings.
And we had to plan things like 6 months ahead. So I worked with an amazing team. Biden was there, he's so experienced, and you know, the rest of the guys as well. So we like sitting down and planning things for like months. And my boss, he was like, Patrick was like, his name's Patrick too, he's like brilliant genius, man. And we sat down, we did a lot of things. So we had to suggest who's coming, we had meetings, and and then my job was, Mass, you gotta make sure whoever comes, it's Steve Aoki, don't let the people go after Steve Aoki plays. I'm like, no pressure, yeah, that's easy.
Get mobbed, yeah.
And Steve Aoki is doing all these stunts.
Yeah.
So I had to, you know, literally put my physical self in that position to do better than Steve Aoki, or at least compete with him. I can't, definitely not. But then, you know, you gotta, it's all about the energy, the hype, and performance, showmanship.
Yep.
But yeah, I think I did a good job because I didn't get fired. So.
That's perfect. Yeah.
But
And
then,
you,
yeah, I
you,
had
I
to
guess you
leave.
were one of the first pioneer batch, right? Would you say? Pioneer batch of Marquee Singapore.
Yeah, I'm opening team for Marquee Singapore.
Yeah.
I'm the opening team for Marquee Singapore. I was actually the first DJ for Marina Bay Sands. First resident DJ. They had to sit with me to understand my job scope. So I was their case study. So every other DJ that was employed after me, the contracts were what they studied from me.
Yeah.
So it
The
was very
guinea pig.
interesting for me because they didn't have that job description in Marina Bay Sands. So I was the first resident DJ for Marina Bay Sands.
Definitely a good baseline because you are very consistent in the way you perform and the sound that you do also.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
I like I said again, you know, I had to keep it mainstream, but I try to do my own little twist in it.
Yeah.
But then again, it is what it is because we are living in a city like Singapore where rents are so high, everything is so expensive. We need the spenders to come and spend and have a good time. And 90% of the audience don't know the difference between, I'm telling you, like good music and great music.
Yes.
I am to say so.
Yes.
But they would definitely understand the difference between good and bad.
Yeah, correct. They don't know how to say, but they can feel it.
Yeah, they can feel it. They can feel it. And it's about the vibe, you know, the whole atmosphere, the people around it. You're an experienced DJ. You've been the resident for Zouk, and you know how it is. You know how tough it is to satisfy everyone.
Yeah, you need to sacrifice certain transitions to squeeze a rocket in, you know. We call it a rock. I mean, Biden used to be my boss. head of entertainment for Zouk, become head of entertainment of Marquee. And then he used to say, you need to know where you place your rockets.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like rockets are like your 5 upon 5 songs. And then sometimes you have to sacrifice a certain transition to make it work. Because keeping the floor is the #1 priority. It's not like a DJ competition where it's about technicality.
It is not, and no one even cares about technicality at a big room club.
They are drunk already.
Yeah, they're drunk, and they don't even look at the equipment. If you're actually doing, you just need to play a good mixtape.
Yeah.
So you know, like since you're the like the first DJ, like in Marquee, right? How did you actually produce the, like did that Marquee sound? Like that. Did you
I
actually?
studied Marquee Vegas.
Oh.
Yeah, so I had to do my research. I had to speak to the guys from Vegas. Of course, team who came from Vegas helped me, and then also the founding father of Marquee, Jason and Noah. I spoke to Jason, and Jason's like, I said, Jason, you gotta give me the top 10 songs of yours, and he's like, Losing It Fisher, Losing It Fisher, Losing It Fisher, Losing It Fisher. I'm like, okay. So you got to do your research. You got to know what their sound is, and then you got to carry that forward.
But then when you do your Vegas sound, right? Can Singaporeans take it? I think it's a little bit too forward, right?
Yeah. So you need to
How do you make your
minus
boss
that.
understand?
Yeah, well, this is how it is. I think what you need to do is you need to find the hit filler kind of strategy.
Yeah.
So you give the Singaporeans 2 hits, and then the filler will be something that you think is futuristic and something. And again, 2 hits, because it's, again, no offense, please don't take me wrong. Don't quote me on this shit when I say this. It's like a gym.
Yes.
You're on a treadmill, but you can't be on the treadmill forever. You just got to step off the treadmill, do some biceps, and get back on a stepper, treadmill, stepper. It's like that.
Yeah.
So you got to keep it like bouncy, and that kind of thing is where big room sounds are in Singapore, because we are Asians and we like the high, synthesizers and
High energy, high tempo.
And sometimes I increase the 130 BPM to 132, and I play like 132 and 133, even 134. Like Booyah on 132 sounds better than Booyah on 128. Booyah is an anthem. I even call it the Singapore national anthem.
Yeah, that's correct. At Zouk, we do 150. We are like over the top. Yeah. It's like our normal 128 is 150. But I guess Zouk is really more Singaporean, consisting more Singaporean, but like Marquee is like mixed, like international and Singaporean crowd.
Marquee is also supported by the STB it's one of the places, it's a must-see place when you visit Singapore.
Yeah, you cannot play songs with vulgarities. What about that?
Yeah.
Is it like restricting?
Yeah. But then, you're like playing a song and then you have to really focus on the lyrics. It's like, put your hands up. So every time you're like, because if your boss is around, you're like, oh, that's it, that. Yeah. So, a couple of words slip out, but then again, it's not like...
It's actually quite hard, like there's this time that I tried to... What's that? Silent Disco, they're asking me to play family-friendly kind of songs. Then I thought that, okay, I got this Maroon 5 song. This should be family-friendly. There's a bad lyrics. I'm like, what? I didn't know that.
Sexual innuendos. Yeah, Maroon 5, of course. What do you expect?
Yeah, then I didn't get a chance to like, filter it out.
Yeah.
Then the kids are like, oh no. I'm like looking at the organizers like, please don't fire me.
I mean, kids nowadays, they're on TikTok, they understand more vulgarities than us back then.
But this is on a bigger scale, man. You say Marquee, then after that you say fucking.
Fucking.
Yeah. But that was actually a rule by Marina Bay Sands, not Marquee.
Yeah, of course, they are restricted as well.
MBS has its
Image.
standards and image to maintain. And like our compliance prohibits food wastage, and therefore Steve Aoki couldn't throw cake.
Oh no!
Yeah, they're very serious about it. So we actually cut that cake and ate it. It's really tasty.
Okay.
Because he wants a special cake made. The chef actually made it. Yeah, it's like 1 layer of cake and 2 layers of icing. So it's so juicy. So we had backstage cake. It was so yummy. I'm like, it's not bad actually. It's tasty.
How do you do hip hop nights there though? Like
You can't do hip hop nights at Marquee. That's why we have Avenue.
Oh.
Yeah. Hip hop is made for smaller, compact rooms. Marquee is a big room sound. It's like a mini, festival kind of vibe. So you have a lot of the producers. When you produce a song, you produce it to that room.
Yes, correct. But then the thing is now I think about like hip hop festivals like Rolling Loud.
Yeah.
How is it that they can work? Is it because of star power?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's not really because of the sound. Yeah.
I mean, come on. Fortnite is a video game. Travis Scott sold out.
Yeah.
6 million people.
Yeah. And on Rolling Loud, they are playing 50 BPM songs.
Yeah.
Everybody, whoa! Shit!
It's a different thing. It's star power. It's star power.
Yeah.
I mean, look, man. Today, if you say, I'm not even kidding you, you don't need a DJ or a musician. Just bring Kim Kardashian to any club, you'll pack it up.
Yep. That is true. Like Virgil Abloh the other time also.
You remember Virgil Abloh sold out.
Yeah.
Who's this? Recently, Jackson Wang.
Jackson Wang.
Jackson
Three nights in a row, right?
3 nights in a row sold out. So
Crazy, dude.
it's an influence-based market we are stepping into.
Which brings me to my next point that I didn't even intend to be a point. All your influencers, all your actors that suddenly decide to become a DJ versus the people that love DJing for 20 years. And then they are just suddenly, now I don't have a job because this actor decided to, take my spot here and there. Is there anything that like as true blue musicians that we can do to step up our game? Maybe we start acting. Or do TikTok dances.
But dude, you cannot do that. Like Shaquille O'Neal, right? He's a basketball player, bro, and he's a DJ now. How can you?
Yeah, we lose already, dude.
But there are 3 stages in the evolution of technology.
Yep.
The first is the internet era.
Yep.
The second is the apps, like the platforms that we use, TikTok and Facebook. Now it's the creators, the content creators.
Yes.
So it doesn't matter if you're a DJ, a dancer, or person who just wears pink balloons on your head.
Yeah.
As long as you're creating content that is entertaining, and because of the short attention span, everyone's looking for that 3 second of ha 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 or oh my god, amazing.
Yeah.
That is what you need to cater to. So even if I've seen DJs do quick mixes and they've got massive followers, like massive following. So you can still stay true to your art, your trade, but make sure that it's relevant.
Package it in
Package it. Yeah. Because if you are like, okay, I'm gonna play house music. Wait for the mix. So you wait 1 minute. People are not gonna wait on TikTok for 1 minute till you.
Journey, bro.
Long mix, bro. Slowly turning the fade, the knobs and everything.
Yeah, and then even if you have like TikTok extend this for 1 hour and you're waiting and you'll be like, his transitions are so smooth, the average TikToker will be like, when is he gonna change the song?
Hey, but I'll stay 1 minute for Carl Cox, man. Because he's known for it.
Yeah, true. But that's you and me, you and I, us.
You can actually prank people, like you do a long mix, but actually it's just a loop of you just.
Using the shepherd tone. Yeah, it's a never-ending scale.
Yeah.
I did
2
that
minutes,
once.
or no, actually maybe 1 minute of that. You just like that.
Waste
Just
your
try-
time,
wasting people.
But I honestly think that I always embrace change and I move with technology. You can't beat it, because I've been through 3 generations: vinyl, CDs, thumb drives. As a DJ, I've seen an entire circle for 20 years in this industry, and people who are bringing back the songs from 20 years ago and making it hits now. I'm like, I used to play that song when it was a hit back then.
Original.
Original. So I know the feeling of that song. When I drop it, it was like, oh, man. I was like, wow. So I've seen the full cycle.
Yes.
And I think this is what brings me to understand that, because I move with my trends, and most of my friends who were like, when we were moving from turntables, the real vinyl to Serato, like, I'm keeping it real, man. And the guys like carrying 70 records in 3 crates, and the only thing that's real is your back's broken. and I'm walking straight, bro. I'm doing like backflips on stage.
Which is now why I'm using thumb drive. I already retired my laptop already.
So I moved with technology and Marky, because it was more about the showmanship and the performance. I use thumb drives really fast because no one's going to think about, you're not mixing it properly. Because
I guess content is where the true skill is where you display your true skill, I guess. Yeah, but live is like more simplified version.
True.
Yeah.
And we have to think about this. We've chose this as a career. It's not a hobby.
Yes, correct.
There are people who do it as a hobby, who's got a lot of money. Like I have friends who are doctors who do it as a hobby. They've got records and turntables. They mix at home for fun, that's fine. But you're not doing that. You really want to make a living out of it, right? So for you and I, it's different. So we got to move with the trends and keep it relevant. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's similar to Eminem where he's dropping his album. It's really like he's talking about like he's between pop and rock and rap and everything, right? For the masses. But then once in a while, right, when he need to destroy someone, he will drop a freestyle.
Yeah.
Just to flex a bit.
Flex a bit, like 8 minutes. I don't even know what I'm gonna say, but it's just blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. I think a lot of DJs do that sometimes now. I've seen like David Guetta is like, because everyone's making fun of him for, David Guetta is okay, but here's what I,
How I create titanium future.
Yeah, and everyone's like,
I showed you everything in
okay.
30 minutes. Everybody, oh shit, you actually made that? Yeah.
Yeah, so I get it too. I get a lot of things like people would say, oh, this guy doesn't know how to DJ, he doesn't know how to produce, he doesn't know this, he doesn't know that. I'm like, well, if you claim that I don't know, how am I still in the game, man?
Yeah.
I've been doing it for so many years, and I asked them one question, where do you DJ? And then they're like, a bedroom. So I'm like, okay, you see the difference? So you're doing it as a hobby.
Correct.
See,
So your focus is different.
Exactly. I mean, it's not a bad thing. We have these kind of conversations with my friends, and they're like, I'm like, yeah, you claim to stay true to the scene, and you call me a sellout. But that's what everyone called David Guetta, everyone called even Daft Punk, like greatest electronic musicians of all time.
When they start collabing with Weekend.
You remember? They say they're a sellout. But who can beat Daft Punk, man? I mean, they're still legends,
Yeah.
So
Evolution.
Evolution. Yeah, you got it. Weekend himself, man, as an artist. You remember the I Can Feel My Face Weekend to post is very different.
Yeah. Even for Noisia, Noisia is like a super underground D&B duo that is like praised as the best sound designers in the world.
Yeah.
Now they just do it Skrillex,
Yeah.
just chill,
Well, some people, like struggle with change. So the thing is, when their favorite artist change, right, they won't like it. That's why, But I mean, like the music is all about that as well, flow and all that. Like you have to follow what's relevant as well.
Yeah.
Being creative is also like that. So the thing is, a lot of people don't understand that, and they think that like you need to stick to your sound because that's the sound that I like.
Similar to Drake when he was like changing to house music. Then he received a lot of backlash, and then his fans will of course say, "Oh my God, Drake saved house music." Then all the house music people will be like, "What the fuck?" Yo, Beyonce saved house music, man. Thanks to Beyonce, house music's still here. What the fuck? Yeah.
Well, it just went into their radar because they don't follow
cheese people
Beyonce. Basically those people that just follow the famous songs or the popular songs of the day.
Yeah, correct. And now it's techno.
Yeah, it's techno. Techno is mainstream now. It's commercial.
When Calvin Harris dropped Miracle, that's it.
It
is really. It is what it is really.
Yeah, it is.
Are you getting into techno as well?
I mean, I produce all types of genres. I've done a couple of techno tracks as well. But you see, again, I'm a student of the art form. I like to experiment. And, I would never say that I've done it. I'll say I'm learning how to do it. But if I feel like I want to release it, I would release it. But right now, my audience is more sort of commercial, tropical, Mumbaton, reggaeton vibe. So I'll keep on releasing that. Hopefully, if I make a breakthrough internationally, and then I can start doing a couple of other genres as well. I truly don't see myself as a DJ who's stuck to one genre. I like to,
Dude, you didn't even just stick to one genre. You're now a movie star. I saw you in the movies and everything in Sri Lanka.
diversifying, bro. You're getting old. You gotta start.
Diversify your portfolio, bro.
It's not DJ anymore. It's movie star now, bro.
You start being a zoologist or something. Step it up a bit.
But to be honest, I think if anyone who knows me, I work like 7 days a week. I'm always working. I've done everything in the entertainment and events industry, nightlife. I don't stop. And the good thing about it is because you're constantly learning, and the people I learn from are you guys. Because I always hang out with you guys. Even if you do a collaboration, or even if you just meet up and sit down and talk, we're absorbing information. And you're going to take that and you're going to run with it.
That's so true. Same as us. I created this podcast for an excuse for us to catch up with our friends, actually. I'm like, I'm working every day, so might as well.
But isn't that what it's all about? Like-minded people getting together. And what we're doing is we're creative individuals. It all starts with thought. Maybe something this podcast will spark me when I go home and I'm like, he said techno. And in the middle of the night, I'm like, making some
But what is the
techno.
mass sound though? What's the DJ mass sound? Is it anything melodic? That is the mass sound? Or
Good question.
something ethnically related to you?
Very good question.
The mass sound. That one's in the bedroom, bro. It's a real mass sound.
That's great for you, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh man. He edits the video, man. He need clickbait, dude. He's just like, when can I insert this, dude? He wait for 40 minutes already.
Yeah, I'm also waiting.
He wait for 40 minutes, bro. First 15 minutes, never say anything.
That sound.
Jersey Club, bro.
Jersey.
Yeah.
Well, I think the mass sound now has changed over the years. I started out when I was a teenager. Believe it or not, I started out with trance. It was bedrock, my biggest influence. Danny Tenaglia, John Digweed.
Danny Tenaglia now is the 15-hour DJ set or 10-hour DJ set or something like that.
Yeah,
We once booked him at Zouk and then he start ready from opening to end of the club. Then say, okay, now we'll set up the buffet. You'll go back home and bathe first. Then come back, right? He will play a 8-minute song. Then he'll go and take the buffet. Then everybody will eat with him. And then he will change song. Then he'll eat again.
So that was my first influence. Sasha Digweed, Tenaglia, and then from that,
Sasha coming, by the way.
when
Digweed coming, by the way.
when
Yeah. Shit. I forget the date already, but soon.
Shit, I'm coming, bro.
Soon.
I'm there.
Yeah. Sasha and Digweed. Yeah.
That's what I grew up
Yeah.
to. So I think that was my first influence. Then I moved into hip hop.
Yep.
I had a massive hip hop era.
Yep.
And then I moved into, because when I was in Dubai, I was playing multi-ethnic, multicultural music as well.
Yes.
So mixing like a hip hop song with the Arabic beat and stuff like that. A very diverse commercial pop sound. And came to Singapore, went into EDM because that's what the people wanted here. Big room sound was big when I came here.
Right.
And my personal preference is still cinematic hybrid trap.
Oh, festival trap.
Yeah, festival trap. And I'm a huge fan of RL Grime, Millennium, that kind of sound,
correct.
Kali. But you see, I can't put that out. I can't release that because the market is so niche
Yes.
in this region.
Correct.
Unless I'm in the state. So therefore, I just keep that to myself. But I do believe, one of my friends recently told me, maybe that is not meant to be heard by the whole world. It's just for your friends.
Or you can do a mass VIP edit
Yeah.
of Pem Kakula.
Yeah.
Wow,
Wow, you
dude.
said it right, bro. Spectacular, yeah, it's gonna be
Hey, when I was kindergarten, my CCA was Indian dance, dude.
Oh, really?
I got a costume and shit, bro.
Dude, I get you for my next video.
And
Get Leonard on our next video, bro.
my
Fly
mom,
him down to Sri Lanka, put him in the middle of the girls.
Actually,
my mom
that
was
would-
always
could
telling
work.
me that, right, since young, right, I don't have any Chinese friends. All my friends are all Indian. Like, look at Nash D, look at my kindergarten, my primary school, secondary school, right? My friends are all Indian. I don't have like Chinese friends.
Ah.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried, playing around with the Indian Arabic sounds? Because the scales are very different.
No, yeah, it's very complicated because it's not natural, you see. Because I'm first a DJ, then a producer. Right?
Yeah.
So getting to producing is really like a step up. And then want to do Arabic scales is even harder,
Yeah.
So I can appreciate from far.
Yeah, I think you have. It's easier to become a DJ and then a producer than a producer then a DJ.
Because you overcomplicate things.
True.
Yeah.
Very true. And that's where I was lucky because I was a DJ first and before I became a producer. So I don't think too much. I don't overcomplicate and I don't think too much about the essence of the song or the elements. What I focus on is the dance flow.
Yeah. Or the ninth major.
Sometimes when I make a song, they'll call me, bro, you played a seventh on the third bar. That's amazing. I'm like, did I?
Damn. Accidentally.
Did I? Yeah. Okay.
Suffering from success. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's interesting. It's interesting that DJing had actually, helped us understand the dance flow and what people move to. And I guess that's why a lot of producers like David Guetta or Harris, and they're successful.
David Guetta said in the Impulsive podcast that, right, I feel like such an imposter because I got so many violinist friends. They are so good at playing the instrument. I feel like I shouldn't be deserving of all this success. Then the violinist guy say, but you have the ultimate skill that none of us have. You know what people want. Yeah. And then you tell us what to do and then it just works.
Yeah.
So that's also another skill, you know, like executive producing maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was working with some vocalists in Sri Lanka in the past 2 years, and I realized something that they're really good vocalists. They know all this vibrato, you know, all these scales and stuff like that. But what they don't have is, again, just they don't know what the people want.
Yes.
Because they have been so good trained in classical and theory and stuff like that. But they're like, sometimes they're so complex. It's like jazz music.
Yes.
You see, it's like it's so complex that people don't appreciate it.
Yeah, it's like turntablism.
It's like turntablism. Exactly.
I guess they are good operators, not good managers, I guess.
Very true.
Yeah.
Very, very true. So if you want to have a coffee, you'll just go and ask for a latte or a cappuccino. But if someone tries to make you this royal
Affogato.
blend, yeah, dude, I just want coffee. You know?
Hey, relax.
Yeah.
Kopi O only.
Kopi, popo, katai. That's my thing.
His go-to drink, guys.
Yeah,
The
man.
popo, bro.
Popo. I'm in love with the popo.
Then let's talk a little bit about after Marquee, right? I'm a little bit confused. Are you the next journey? Is it to Australia or is it to Sri Lanka?
Very good question. I have both options.
Yes.
I'm staying in Sri Lanka for this year to see how the situation goes. I'm not going to let go of the fight that we put on. We literally overthrew a corrupt government, you know. We walked onto the streets, and I'm sure you don't see this on news, but 200,000 people walked out. I was with the people, man. It was so like...
Are they playing
Did you
Phantom
swim
Supply
in
the
the
background?
Did you swim in the swimming pool or
He
eat the
played one of
food?
my songs. Yeah, Merat Magirat. I made a song that is pretty much like...
At the revolution, bro.
bro, I'm telling you, let me show you. I have to.
I saw people cooking in the presidential palace or something, man.
Yeah.
Is it that one?
No. Yeah, that too, but you gotta see this. Oh, wait, hold on.
We might need to mute this segment later, copyright, but we'll
Yeah.
watch it.
Yeah.
No, it's okay. I will whitelist you guys. Look at that is.
Oh.
Just watch. Wait till it play. Sorry about the internet speed.
God damn.
That's
Wow.
the presidential palace.
Holy shit.
Look at that. 200,000 people surrounded it from all corners. It's like flies.
This looks like 1996 Fat Boy Slim. Oh, the beach.
Yeah.
Ooh, like
Brighton,
Star Roman's
big-
army, you know.
Big beach boutique, Brighton.
Yeah.
It was like that. Yeah.
It's crazy.
And we did that because we wanted something better for our youth. And I have to talk about this because a lot of people don't know what Sri Lanka goes through.
Yes.
A 16-year-old kid got beaten on the head in front of me. He had a open wound and he was bleeding. And I took him and I said, I was trying to take him to the hospital. He looks at me, he's like, oh my God, DJ Masa here. And he's like, you are here. This gives me, the motivation. And he started walking towards the parliament. He didn't, the presidential palace. He didn't go back home with the bleeding head.
Oh my God.
He's like, because you're here, this gives me the motivation to go. If you're here, we have to do this together. Let's go. He's like, dude, how old are you? He's like 16. He's like, my youth, my future has been taken away from me. I'm 16. I know that I won't have an average salary in Sri Lanka is about $100, $150 a month.
Yes.
So you study for 16 years and you make that a month. How many days do you have to work, or how many years do you have to work just to buy a certain iPhone? Think about it. Or let's buy a controller like this to be a DJ. So we were there 20 years ago, 25 years ago. That's why we left that country. But nothing has changed. The people are still there. So if the youth can't afford to have their resources because the government's too corrupt, that means, you got to do something about it.
You're some sort of messiah there, man.
No,
It's like Jesus come, oh my God.
I think the most important thing is to try and at least do something for you people, because it takes you back. You resonate with that. When I see the kids and I walk into a supermarket, I hear little children asking mothers to buy them ice cream. They can't afford ice cream. I'm like, that is not even novelty. Ice cream is a commodity that every country can afford, and you can't buy your kids ice cream anymore because of the situation in the country. There's basic necessities such as fuel. You came there, and there's power cuts, man. There's like 5-6 hours power cuts. There's no fuel for people to travel. I mean, what kind of life do you have to go through to live in that stage, So
Like the basic human needs is not there.
basic necessities are not there, and that's why I am still there in Sri Lanka, because I think if we make a small change, it will have a ripple effect.
Yes.
Yeah.
It'll motivate other people to also want to create
True.
a small change to add up, you know.
A lot of people say it when they say, why do you even leave Singapore? You have the option to stay in Australia. You can go anywhere you want, you know.
Yep.
But I'm like, I'm there for a reason. I'm gonna give it one last push this year because hopefully we hope that the situation will get better and there's some form of hope, you know. Because I
Dude,
believe in change.
When I went there, it's freaking beautiful, man. The whole country is beautiful, man. And it's clean everywhere. It's like, yeah, you don't see the
Very
rubbish.
nature untouched, that
Yeah,
kind of vibe, right?
even the roads, right? There you don't see rubbish. But I think you got the culture of in the morning, everybody sweeping all over. Yeah, you know.
I mean, you are most welcome. Please do come. I'm inviting you on air.
Yeah.
You can stay at my place. Don't worry, man. You got I'll take care of you. Food, meals, everything taken care of. Just come, enjoy. Just come for the holiday. Everyone needs to come to Sri Lanka just to chill. Yeah, you gotta come and tell your friends. Once you come to Sri Lanka, you'll be like, wow, okay, this place is not that bad. You know, this place is it's a chill place. Yeah.
He's now like tourism board, attire, DJ, actor. You must have a wiki, man. Dude, but the feeling must be so powerful, you know, like, oh my god, you are DJ Maz, you give me power to like, you know, go and fight against the parliament when I'm bleeding and shit. Yeah. And it's so empowering.
It is very empowering because and it's like so funny at the same time because after this whole thingy, I was driving back, so I went to pick my mom up from her place and I was going home, and then there was this huge mob that surrounded the car with swords and all this stuff. It's like a movie.
What the heck?
And my mom started praying. She's like, "That's it, Allahu Akbar, I'm gone today."
Oh,
and then when we roll down the shutter, and then they look at me. They put their mask down. They're like, DJ Masaya. And then they're all taking selfies with me with their sword. with the sword and everything. All their parangs and all this stuff. And my mom, and then you know what I told my mom for the first time in my life? I said, music saved our life today.
Did your mom get the power as well? And like,
she always tells me music is haram. I grew up in a family, you know, where my mom is really a strict Muslim. She's not that bad. I'm just like, you know, exaggerating, but she does always believe that she's like, oh, I hope you get a real job one day. I'm like, I've been doing this for so many years. And I'm like, see, because I'm a musician, we have saved today.
Yeah, we're Bob Marley, man.
So it's good. It's good that people know us through music. But also people respect us because we don't use this influence in a wrong way. Yes. There have been musicians who use their fame for you know, the gains of politics. But we don't use that. So
yeah, I guess I just leave it to like maybe like that Bob Marley level where it's just like fight for peace and then that's it, you know. Then we just chill.
Yeah, the only thing that's missing now is my early death. Leave a legacy. I mean, I'm not saying that I want to die. No, just kidding. But you know how they say, right? You gotta die a hero
or stay long
enough to become a villain. So I don't want to become the villain. Maybe I can become the president of Sri Lanka and then
mastermind. I mean, like look at George Clooney also. You know, he just retired. You know, at his peak, and then he's just like, hey, I'm gonna chill and do boring shit. You know.
Agreed, man. Agreed.
And the more boring your life appears on social media, the more exciting it actually is. Yeah, man.
Yeah, you're like, look at this guy who, Keanu Reeves, man.
Yeah, dude. Perfect example.
He doesn't even have a social media handle. He's the most popular person on the internet.
Yeah.
and you know, like his you know, word spread about his kindness and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's not about him like taking videos or I'm like helping out this guy or whatever.
I'll pay for this person's grocery.
It's actually people talk about him like literally. That's the legitimacy of it, you know.
Do you want to know something funny? He and I were born on the same day, 2nd of September. Keanu Reeves and me. And exactly 10 years apart. Yeah.
Speaking of all this, famous people? Who's the best top 3 actors or famous people that you hanged out with and like really like you were surprised that they're like that? You know, like it made an impression on you.
Well, I think the first person that I really have to say is Skrillex. This guy is amazing, man. I mean, we went and hang out at Gardens by the Bay and we're chilling, and you know, the guy, he met me a few times and he's really cool. He's really down to earth, grounded.
Wait, you went to Gardens by the Bay? Like,
yeah.
Like a date?
Not a date. No, he's like in the middle of the night. He's like, dude, I want to go to that place. You know, the place where there's like those trees and I'm like, okay, there's a back entrance we can go at night and so me and a couple of his friends and we just went there. Like, oh man, this is so peaceful, this is so chill, this is so nice.
I actually imagine you guys like holding hands
Nah.
in the gardens by the bay.
No bromance, bro. That's you and Gabe. Sick burn. Nah. So Skrillex is number one, and I think the second person. I'm sorry, but it was Will Smith. Honestly, he was one of the nicest gentlemen that I've ever worked with and met in Dubai. We had a really nice time. We hung out. But I'm very shocked by what happened.
I mean, probably some family factor stuff, lah. But generally, he's known as the Hollywood nice guy, right? That's his branding.
Yeah, he was such a nice guy, and it was surprising to see him. And then I think the other person, I would say top three. There's a lot, but I also like working with Justin Timberlake because we did the Abu Dhabi concert with him. And, he's so nice and so humble and so kind, and he like asks everyone if you have eaten. Have you like and like he did this thing where before the show he just like gathered everyone, even the cleaners like in the stadium, come. And he like held everyone's hand and he started praying. I was like, dude, are you for real? Like the guy's like so into the people. Justin Timberlake, JD is an amazing guy as well. I mean, when you see this, then you understand why they are up there. It's not because they're just like, good musicians and talented, but they're good human beings. In their heart and soul, they really want everything to succeed.
The people that deserve it.
Yeah. And they say that even you, like even the cleaners, you guys are doing a huge part to make this concert a success. So we got to treat you guys as a part of the team.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's my top three. But there's others as well. There's a lot of others.
No wonder, like I see some of those things that you said, right? Through you, whenever I see you perform, and after you perform, you thank everybody from the security to the cleaners and everything. I see him like going around thanking everybody after he performs in Marquee or anywhere else.
Yeah, I think I was blessed and lucky enough to meet these people and work with these people and learn from them, And that's what I said for the beginning as well. We are always students. We're learning everything. We just don't learn the skill or the art form. We also learn on how to be and how not to be with the people around us. And you are setting an example. People look up to you. Like I said, that little kid. Now if he sees me doing something wrong and fucked up, I wouldn't be there at that place with the people. He's like you're with the people. You could have been in the comfort of your house, but you're with the people. Because I have no future, you're here to fight for me, and that makes him motivated. And this is what we are. We have to be true to our scene, man. I told him as well so many times. I'm like, bro, you gotta, reach out to your tribe. There's a lot of people in the Philippines who are deserving, and there's a lot of people, elsewhere. Maybe we first start with our own community here. This is what you guys are doing, surrounding your community, making sure everyone gets something to do, and then from there onwards, set an example so that the future generation can take something. Our time's up, literally.
I think you can relate to this point very well because, people started from bottom, now we here, right? You started from bottom, now we here like 7 times.
Yeah.
Started from and then you always manage to go up. You always manage to go up, and I guess that is the core belief.
The truth is, Leonard, I never see myself as a person who ever went down, nor went up. I was always linear. I'm like, I can have $1 million in my bank today, and tomorrow I can have a zero. But I'll still,
Doesn't affect your level of happiness.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
All that matters to me is if I can sit down with my friends and my family and have a cup of coffee, then I'm successful, bro. That's all that matters, right?
Yeah. Given the fact that we are so busy.
Exactly. Given the fact that we're so busy, we still can sit down and have a cup of coffee or a conversation with our friends. I think that to me is success. Because we've seen what happened to the greats like Avicii. I mean, come on, man. We don't want to go there, right?
Yeah.
And no one even knew he was going through that. And it makes you realize like all the money and the fame can't still buy you actual happiness.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I see that his final days, right, where the manager is like feeding him vitamin C's, and then he's just drinking it with Coke, and then it's like a very bad diet where he's like playing 3 shows a day, that kind of thing. He's already on the brink of suicidal. Yeah. So so right now, instead of Australia, you are
this
in
year,
Sri Lanka.
Yeah, I'm in Sri Lanka. I'm based in Sri Lanka for this year. But depending on how the country situation would be, then I would decide to move to Australia or even Singapore back again.
Right.
Let's see how it goes. But for now, this year I will definitely be in Sri Lanka because I'm going to give a last push. And by next year, I want to retire from my community building, which is the DJ Center, Center Records, and stuff like that. I'm going to pass it on to the people who are going to take it and continue. And I'm going to start building a family. So that's my goal, with my wife. I need to really focus on that. So hopefully this is my last year where I will be giving this 100%.
But you'll still be DJing, still be producing. Focus more on mass solo projects.
Correct. Yeah. As an artist, I think I could do that for another 10-15 years. So, but it's a lot of work building communities and running the show. I mean, with people around, because we have grown so much. I get messages from Singapore, Australia, Dubai, Sri Lanka, India, because our network is so much, and daily I'm just troubleshooting.
Dude, I admire that from you. Like, I can, I can randomly text him, and no matter how busy it is, he will reply you.
If I'm busy, I'll tell I'm busy. I'll reply back.
Yeah. Follow-up game strong.
And our calls is usually like 1 hour to 2 hours long every time.
Then he's like, okay, bye. Then he start another podcast.
It's really tough to make time for everyone. But then again, we had a good run, man. I mean, I want to thank you guys. To me, Singaporeans are what makes Singapore great. You guys got to keep doing what you guys are doing. You guys have taught me a lot. I've learned a lot from Singapore. And that's why I constantly bring my Sri Lankan, community over to show them what Singapore is so that they can learn. They can copy these blueprints, take it back to Sri Lanka, do something better. And hopefully, it's not it's not about the fame game. It's about building something that is organic, ground up. That's what Singapore has taught me.
I guess Singapore and Sri Lanka musically is closer compared to like US and Sri Lanka.
100%, yes.
Right or not?
Agree.
So we are also growing on our own. We're also trying to figure out what our sound is as a nation. And then, of course, we are always influenced by the West. So right now, maybe Asia is going to probably start its own thing, and maybe the West is also trying to adopt. It has already taken place in technologies like TikTok, where the West is like, adopting or learning from what we are doing. So maybe it will come a point where music will have its own footprint in the world.
Yes.
From Asia.
Yes. Regional music is growing. So the number one song in Sri Lanka is a Sri Lankan song. The number one song in the Philippines is a Filipino song.
Yes.
So regional music is growing because thanks to Apple, Spotify, they don't follow the Billboard charts anymore. So we're not looking into the Western charts to say what's number one.
Yes, I think for a lot of our viewers, right, this might come as a shock that the number one Sri Lankan song is from Sri Lanka, the number one Philippine song is from Philippines, because this is not usually the case, For Asian countries, right, we are like slave to our colonial masters, Well, everything is about the Billboard charts.
I think now it's not the Billboard charts, it's the TikTok charts, man. Whatever is popular in TikTok.
And for the first time in the history of music, in the industry, there's no certain genre that's on top or era. Man, running up that hill, Kate Bush broke all records. It's a song from the 80s. They generated so many streams, and
it's all because of a movie.
It's a series, Stranger Things.
Correct.
So that's thanks to, again, TikTok is blowing things up.
Content is king, back to what you said.
Yeah, exactly.
So what's coming up next for MESS 2024?
International collaborations. For 2024, I'm working with, because right now I work with a couple of C-listers. I'm moving my way towards B-listers. I want to try and work with a couple of A-listers next year, but I'm getting my numbers game up, because you can't just this is again what Skrillex told me. He's like, man, even if you make a song, I need to see your numbers. If your numbers are like 1 million, monthly listeners, then it's easier for you to work with them. If not, it's difficult because you got to work with the people in your level. So right now, my Spotify game is getting better.
Yes.
But I think once I achieve the target, the numbers that I want, then I can reach out to them. Because one thing that I have, which a lot of Sri Lankans don't have, is the contacts, man.
Yes.
I have it. If I have the numbers, it's easy for me to just hit them up and say, bro, let's do
I
something.
reached already. I reached the
I
numbers.
reached the numbers, yeah.
Yeah.
So just
I don't know why, but I feel like you and Jason Derulo, perfect. That's right. He can make a Jason Derulo song, man. You are already making,
yeah. That's the goal. That's
the goal, man.
And Jason Derulo is open to that kind of stuff. He loves collaborating with Asian, South Asian, East Asian,
He's the
Arab.
first major act to adopt TikTok. What? Look at how full on he is on TikTok. So crazy.
The one who chipped his tooth or something in TikTok.
All for the grab, man. All for the TikTok. He did one when one of his homies and another of his homies, then they were holding pens. He was like running and then he jumped into the pens and he wear the pens.
Oh yeah.
It was like part of a TikTok of the song. Yeah. It's a Macklemore song. Yeah. Okay. So maybe you can give final words to our budding DJs. How should you lead your life properly?
Yeah, well, I always tell people in my community, my circle, my close circles, and whoever wants any advice is like, be true to yourself. Don't lose yourself. Most of the times you get caught up in the hype, and you think, oh, wait, let me, try to fake it till I make it, or let me try to, just like hustle really hard in the wrong ways.
Yes.
But you gotta be true to yourself, man. You can't change who you are. I mean, black, white, Asian, whatever it is, you are who you are deep inside you, deep inside your heart and your soul. Reach out to it, and you just gotta be true. And if you are being really genuine, it might take 20 years, and you will finally get verified, and you'll make a hit song.
It's all about the long game.
It's all about the long game. I never gave up, I was like, I'm gonna make a hit song before I die. So it took me about 20 years, but I did it, I mean,
But it was a fun 20 years.
It was a fun 20 years. It was. And then I look back in the journey and I'm like, I'm so thankful for the people that I met, because everyone played a part in it. Everyone, from my friends in Singapore, my family in Singapore, and my friends in Sri Lanka, my friends and family in Dubai, in Australia, in India, they all played a key role in the success of DJ Mass. And if one of them were missing, DJ Mass would not exist. So try to understand that there's a lot of love behind this success.
Yes.
And it doesn't happen overnight. You need to have a strong support system, and that can only be achieved by you being true to yourself, being sincere to yourself. If you're faking it, the people around you are going to notice it, and they're not going to support your cause.
Correct.
Because you ain't here for the money or the bitches. Sorry, can I say bitches?
Yeah.
We already say fuck.
You already said fuck, bro.
You talk about Sri Lankan government and shit already, dude. Nothing, man.
True, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So that's my advice to the younger generation, the youth, because try to stay relevant. And my last advice is AI. Jump on that shit right now.
Very true.
Yeah. Don't be that uncle who said fuck TikTok. And now they are laughing, because you guys are ruling TikTok. Now you guys are like, AI, fuck AI. And very soon, the people who jump on AI are going to be ahead of you guys.
That is very true. Like vinyl to Serato.
You're right. Yeah.
Embrace.
Yeah. So, thank you so much for having me, man.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, bro.
DJ Mass.